Hello children, I hope you all are feeling fine. I welcome you all to our special English hour. Here we learn lots of new things and we do this while having fun. Are you all ready for some fun? Come on. Children, as you all know, we always start our day with something fun and interesting. So today, I have a fun tongue twister for you. Are you all ready for the tongue twister? The tongue twister is a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen. I will repeat. I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen. Sounds difficult? Let's give it a try. I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen. I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen. I saw a chicken eating kitchen. Oops! I was not able to do it. Wasn't it difficult? I request you to try saying this tongue twister with your friends faster at least 5 times. Children, now let's do a fun quiz. This quiz is about some of the greatest inventions. These are objects that have been considered to be the greatest inventions created by humans. Now, I will be giving you a few clues about these inventions. And what you need to do is, based on these clues, try and guess what these objects are. Sounds easy? Let's give it a try. Now, your first clue. This is an object which brought great revolution. Because of this object, one could transfer text or images to paper. Can you guess the name of this object? Yes, it is printing press. And this was invented by Peter Gutenberg. Now, your second object. This is an object which glows in the night and gives us light. Can you guess the name of this object? Yes, it is light bulb. And this was invented by Thomas Edison. Now, your third object. This is an object which helped us to communicate with people who are even farther away from us. Can you guess what this object is? Yes, this object is telephone and it was invented by Graham Bell. Now, the next object. This object helped us reach to places faster and this object brought about a revolutionary change in human race. Can you think the name of this object? Yes, it is none other than aeroplane and that was invented by Wright brothers. Now, your next object. This brought a lot of calm and comfort for writers and people who used to work in offices. Can you name this object? Yes, it was typewriters. And now the final object. This object brought a revolution because it helped in providing energy to heavy machines like ships and trains. Can you guess the name of this object? Yes, it is steam engine, and that was invented by James Watt. So children, the objects and the names of these inventors have brought about great revolution in human history. Because of these objects, we are where we are. Our position today is very high. We are technologically advanced and our lives have become much simpler because of these objects and these curious minds. So today, let's pay a homage to these curious minds for bringing and making our lives so much easier and happier. Children, we all know that it is very important for us to learn new words. When we learn new words, we are able to learn a language better. So now, let's learn some new words from the lesson that we are going to learn today. And I would request you to please make a note of these words in your notebooks. Acoustics. 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 The acoustics of Roman theatres are very famous. Melodious. 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 The songbird has a melodious voice. Fascinated. 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 She was fascinated by the northern lights. Occurance. Occurance. Occurrence. The blue moon is a rare occurrence. Equipment. 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 The musical equipments must be handled with care. Children, we learned 5 new words today. Let's revise them. Acoustics, melodious, occurrence, equipment, and fascinated. I hope you remember these words and I hope that you have made a note of these words in your books. Children, now let's read a lesson from our textbook. Please open page number 56. The name of the lesson is Great Scientists Have a Questioning Mind. Now I will be reading this lesson and I request you to point at the words as I read them. And if you don't have a textbook, listen to me carefully. Great scientific minds are restless with questions. They keep asking, why does this happen? Can I make it better? Or what more can this do? Let us study the life of a great scientist who lived in the same era as Einstein, but about 5,000 kilometers east of Germany in India. Children, we all know many scientists. We also know about their discoveries and inventions. But have you ever thought, where did it all begin? It began with a very small thing. It began by asking questions. We, as human beings, are very curious minds. But as we start growing up, we stop asking questions. If you remember, when you were a kid, you would constantly ask questions, either to your mother or father or any other family members, right? So, same was the case with these scientists. They were very curious and they had many questions about the universe, and they would work hard and try to find answers to these questions. That is what a scientist does. Today, we are going to learn about a scientist. He lived during the time of Albert Einstein, but he was not from Germany. He was from India. Let's learn about this Indian scientist and his contribution to the field of science. Born in Trichurupalli in southern India in the year 1888, Raman grew up to be one of the greatest scientists in India. He was a bright student right from the start and was deeply interested in optical science and acoustics. This is what perhaps led him to discover that mridangam and tabla produced more melodious sounds than any other percussion instrument. He was fascinated by colorful things, be it a flower, butterfly, or gem. He kept seeking knowledge about everything around him. Children, today's lesson is about C.V. Raman. He was one of the greatest scientists of our country. He was born in Trichurupalli. He was always a curious mind. He always wanted to know how things happened and why they happened. And he used to try to find answers to these questions. He was deeply interested in optical science and acoustics. Now you will ask, what is optical science? Optical science is the study of light, and acoustics are those instruments which are played using fingers by tapping them or beating them or stringing them. For example, a tabla or a guitar are acoustic musical instruments. So while he used to study music, and when he listened to tabla and guitar and other acoustic instruments, he realized that sound travels faster. He realized that acoustic instruments sound more rhythmic compared to other instruments, which is why he did a detailed study on the acoustics. He became a scholar in sound and sound-related physics. One day, a ship sailed from the port of London towards Calcutta. On board was young C.V. Raman, who had delivered a lecture on the acoustics of the violin in London. He was now on the ship's deck, gazing at the blue waters of the ocean. As he glanced up at the sky, which was of the same shade as the ocean, a series of questions popped up in his head. Why are both the sea and the sky blue in color? What is the science behind this occurrence? His mind seemed to suggest that the reason could be the scattering of lights by water molecules. However, this theory was yet to be proved scientifically. One day, C.V. Raman was coming back to India from London. He had just given a wonderful speech about acoustics of the violin. On his way back, he was standing on the deck. He was looking at the beautiful ocean and the clear sky. And then a series of questions came to his mind. He realized that the color of the ocean and the color of the sky were the same. And he started thinking, how was this possible? He had a solution to this. He thought that this would be possible because of the sunlight hitting the water molecules, which is why the color of the ocean was also blue. He thought that this was the reason, but he knew that it was not proven scientifically yet. So he started thinking in that direction. When the ship anchored at Calcutta, the young man immediately went on to conduct experiments to prove his theory. His research in optics, the science of light, resulted in the discovery of the Raman effect. He announced it to the scientific world in March 1928. The discovery won him the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1930. It was the first time this prize was awarded to an Asian. The day he discovered the Raman effect, 28th February, was later declared as National Science Day. Even before this, his contribution to the science of optics had been acknowledged, and he was elected Fellow of the Royal Society in 1924. After landing in India, Raman immediately went to do his research, and he came up with the Raman effect. This was appreciated by the science society all over the world, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize. C.V. Raman became the first Asian to be given this award. After this, he was also selected as the Fellow of Royal Society of London. You would have learned about the Raman effect in detail at school. But do you know that discovery subsequently helped in determining the internal structures of some 2000 chemical compounds? And can you guess what the cost of the equipment that Raman used to prove this theory was? A measly 200 rupees. The discovery of the Raman effect proved to be very useful. It also helped us in determining the structures of many other compounds. And can you guess what was the cost of the equipment that was used in this discovery? It was just 200 rupees. Doesn't it sound amazing? Raman strongly felt that scientists should not be confined to laboratories to solve scientific problems. They should search around themselves and find those answers in accordance with nature. For the essence of science lies in independent thinking and hard work, and not in equipment. How true! Though the oceans and the sky have always been blue in color, it needed a questioning mind with a scientific outlook to find the reason behind it. Here we saw how APJ Abdul Kalam talks about having a scientific attitude or a questioning mind. If you all remember, in the beginning, I told you that it all starts with a curious mind. Only when we ask questions and ask the right questions will we come to know the answers. So it's all about being curious, and that is what we learned from C.V. Raman. बच्चों, हमने ये पाठ में C.V. रमन के बारे में पढ़ा. हमने ये जाना कि कैसे वो एक जिज्ञासु व्यक्ति थे. उन्हें हर चीज के बारे में सवाल हुआ करते थे और वो खुद इन सवालों का जवाब ढूंढा करते थे. इसी वजह से वो पूरे जग में एक जाने माने वैज्ञानिक बन पाए और उन्हें नोबेल पीस प्राइज भी दिया गया. इस चैप्टर से हमने ये सीखा कि कैसे हमें भी एक जिज्ञासु व्यक्ति बनना चाहिए और अगर हम सारी चीजों के ऊपर सवाल करें तब ही हम एक सोच पैदा करने वाले इंसान बन सकते हैं. I hope you all got inspired by C.V. Raman's story. Children, I hope you enjoyed today's session and I hope that you learned something new. I will see you in our next session. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye.